welcome. I am your budget buddy, and in this video, we're going to go over the tool that we've created to help you create a personalized budget. The tool is easy, it's simple, it's free, of course, and hopefully for some, it might actually be a little bit fun. Just as a reminder, our goal is to get you to only spend 30 minutes, roughly twice a month, in order to effectively budget and track your finances. So without further ado, let's go into the details of where you can find the tool and how it's constructed, and then we'll finish with some closing thoughts on where we go from here. All right, here we go. Okay, so the first step on our journey is to go to the web page, and to do that, you go to budbud.info. This works on a desktop computer, it can work on a mobile device, a tablet, or a phone. They all lead to this web page. You can read about Budget Buddy, but if you scroll down here to the section titled The Tools to Help You Succeed, this is where you can download the budget model itself. Now the model is created in a spreadsheet, and so the preferred version of the model is in Microsoft Excel, and that you can get by clicking on this green button here. However, if you don't have Excel, there are other ways to get to the budget model. There are free versions of Excel that you can access via a web browser. You can go into Google, and they have a program called Sheets, which is also free. And if you do either of those options, then you would pick the second model, which is this alternate budget model button, which is next to the green button. Both of these are essentially the exact same tool. The Excel version is just a touch more polished than the other version, but the functionality is the same between both. So you don't lose anything by using the alternate. It's just if you happen to have Excel, it's a slightly better version. The whole theme of the work of Budget Buddy is free. We don't want you to pay a dime to do your own personal finances. So if you don't have Excel already, don't go get Excel. Just go ahead and use the alternate budget tool instead. Now, if we download this file, we'll take a look at the Excel version of the tool. This is what it looks like. There are 3 tabs. There's one tab where you create your budget. You can create the categories that you want to track, and then you can create your annual budget, or you can even focus on just a particular month. But this is where you would do that. And then you track your expenses on this page called the log. And here you just record the amount, the date of the transaction, a description, although that is optional. And then you bucket it in a category, and there's a little drop-down bar that helps you to do that. Then finally, there are the results. And this is where it all comes together. The work of creating your budget and tracking your expenses eventually creates these results, and there's no information in the file, so this is what you'll see initially. But if you go to a version of the file that has been completed, you can see there's a lot of information it gives you about your finances, and so all these graphs come to life at that point. Now, if you want to see this file, that's also included in the web page. If you scroll below a little further, there's an example of the Excel budget tool in action, and there's an example of the alternate budget tool in action. And that's what we see here. This is the Excel version, and then here is the alternate version. And you can see it just looks just a little bit different. Now, in the Excel version of the file, you have these nice forms where you can click on, a certain selection. In this case, I'm picking January, and it'll give me information just for January. Or over here in the lower right corner, I can pick a category like car expenses, and it just gives me those expenses specifically to that category. It's a little different in the alternate file, in that instead of having that kind of simplified menu to pick from, you have this selection of boxes. And what you have to do is put an X before the box that you're interested in. So in this case, I would get rid of the X in front of year to date and put it in front of January, and I would get the same results. So the functionality is pretty much the same. You see the same information, but it looks a little different. And then instead of having a ring, you get a pie chart here in the upper right corner, but it tells you the exact same information. That's it. That's the entirety of the budget tool. So the key is to build your budget, as we see here in this example. Again, you don't have to do it for the entire year. You can just do it for next month and go 1 month at a time, but you can do it for up to a year. You track your results here in the log, and here's an example of that completed. And again, I have a whole year's worth of fictional data just to show what it looks like. And then you've got the results. That's all there is to it. Okay, well, that's it. We've now covered the tool in its entirety. There are subsequent videos that will go into a little more detail of how to complete the tool, but you now have the basics you need to get started. So for some of you, all you may need to do is just download the tool and get going. For others, you may need a little more guidance, and there are videos available at Budget Buddy on YouTube in order to do that. As a reminder, the forum is always available to you, and you can post questions there, or you can send questions to me, and my contact information is available at the bottom of the page at budbud.info. That's it for today. I hope you have a great day.